Hi, everyone. This is Claire Stringer of Clearing with Claire, here for our weekly webinar this week. And I'm really thrilled to have such a special guest with us this week. There's been a lot of sadness, a lot of collective grief going on around the events of this weekend. There's a lot of, feels like a lot of crazy going on in the world for me. And so today I've brought in a specialist to help us, and her name is Sophie Robert Mihalko. She is a really amazing friend and colleague of mine, and she's going to talk to us today about creating our own reality and giving us some practical tools to use. So a little bit about Sophie before we get started is she is a trained business analyst and business administrator. She is also a trained energy healer, an intuitive, and a facilitator of access consciousness. She loves spreadsheets, doing stand-up comedy, and knowing what people are trying so hard to hide. Sophie was never like regular kids. She was always highly aware of other people's emotions and either reacted to them or ignored them. And I can totally identify with that, Sophie, and I think that is something we're going to talk a bit about today, I would imagine, is knowing what crap that feels like it's in our way is actually ours and what is not even ours to deal with when we're creating our own reality. So I know that probably a lot of the people that are going to be watching this may not have ever even heard of access consciousness. Can you give us a little mini primer before we get into the meat of things?
So Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, says it's weird, wacky, and it works.
I'd agree with that.
That's the short version. For me, it's tools that are very practical, but includes energy. So it's also energy work. It's looking at life with a very different perspective, way beyond what we've been taught so far, so that we can indeed create our own reality and more than what is currently seeable, the things we can currently experience, and what we knew as little kids that we could create.
Yeah. So what you share in your bio about being a kid and being aware of things that it seemed like other people denied or weren't aware of, I felt that very much. And I think that, growing up with that, people around us saying like, well, that's not real, or you don't know that, and you're making that up and it's imaginary. But the kid has very intense, it feels intense, sometimes when you're intuitive or even what people would call empathic, you feel these things in your body, and it can be really confusing because you're not even sure what's going on. Why are you feeling this? And other people are telling you, well, it must be yours if you're feeling it, because you don't know what other people are thinking or feeling.
The body is fascinating because to me, the body is only there to tell you what's going on around you. Body has no judgment of anything. So whether it's pain or extreme joy, body does not say one is better than the other one. It just gives you information. So it gives you information for you first, but it also gives you information for others. So basically, if you're you're walking in the street and suddenly you feel like your back is hurting you, it may be the 85-year-old lady that's living in the house that you just walked by.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be your pain, but how many of us are like, oh, my back is hurting? And ask a question. Is it
right? This is one of the biggest tenets of access consciousness that I think makes it so easy to use at any time, anywhere, is that it's all about asking questions. So can you tell us what's so important about asking questions?
So the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. It does not say, make a statement and you shall
receive. That's true.
Right?
Right.
How many of us are like, I I want a car, or I want a beautiful house. Give it to me. That's not a question. Okay?
Right.
It's all about whether what we know already is the only way or not. So, like if we have a pen in our back and we just say, I have a pen in our back, we stay with what we currently know about the pen in the back. Mm-hmm. We're not asking, how does it go away? We're not asking, is this something new, old, that I'm just aware of? We're not asking anything. We're just like, okay, I have a pen in my back, boom. And then boom, it cannot change. Mm-hmm. When I give birth, the second time the epidural did not work, right? So I was in a lot of pain. But I was like, I know that I can be in no pain because I had watched some movies and I was like, it's possible not to be in any pain. So I was asking, even though at the time I didn't know to ask, but I was asking what else was possible, and I fell asleep. Right? They had to wake me up to give birth.
Oh, wow.
Because even though I was in a lot of pain.
You slept through part of your labor?
Sorry?
You slept through part of your labor?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Wow.
It was like 10 o'clock at night, I went out. I was just like, okay. They had to wake me up. It was very interesting. But wow. So if we make the conclusion, if I had made the conclusion, because I'm giving birth, this is it, I have to be in pain and this is just what it is, mm-hmm. I could not have fallen asleep. But I was told, like, okay, so the epidural is not working. What else is possible? Right? Even though I didn't have the words. Now I have the words, but even at the time I'm always looking. I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person. So, okay, this is something else. How many of us as little kids told us, you're too curious? We're too curious.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, in the Catholic religion, curiosity is a sin.
Really?
Uh-huh. You're not supposed to be curious.
You're not supposed to wonder what else is possible.
So, but I'm rebellious. I like to be curious. I like to do what I'm told not to do. It's awesome. I love it. So asking questions for me is basically not accepting this reality. So if we want to create our own reality, we have to first question whether this reality is real or not.
Yeah.
And whether it's the only possibility. If we are convinced this is the only possibility, we can actually not create anything different. Mm-hmm. And in high school, we had to have a major in France. My major was science. So I actually was part of the curriculum where I studied science. And I love the scientific process because you're always looking for better, more, greater. In science, different is always what you're looking for. You're looking for, well, how can this be different? What else? What else can we create? And Einstein was the first one to really tell people, wait a second, the world is not the way you think. And even if he still had doubts about some things, the scientific community was always questioning with him, along with him, or against him, questioning everything, which then created to so much more. So this is not new. This is something we've been doing for millenniums. However, we keep it for these special occasions like scientific projects, or we don't actually look at, okay, what if we use that for our own life? What if you consider your life a whole scientific experiment? Right?
Yes.
So, like, what color are your eyes, Claire?
They're green.
They're green. Okay, so what if one day you're like, I want to take for my eyes to be gray or to be blue today, and see what shows up. Like, it could be that somebody looks at you and say, oh my gosh, your eyes are gray, or there's so many different possibilities. So many different possibilities.
Yeah, I love what you started to say about that really the first step is to question what is defined as reality, and that, kind of think about that going back into the 50s and 60s, and whoa, if we're using acid or something, then we can look beyond this reality. But really all it takes is a simple openness, I've found, in a question, and having that sense of exploration, as you said. And I think it's something that a lot of people have an underlying inkling of, or maybe even just a hope for. I think that the popularity and the lasting effect of the movie The Matrix really signals that, that people have this feeling of like, yeah, wait, this, maybe this world is a lot more prescribed, what we think that we have to do each day, what we think is normal and acceptable, and that there's a limitation on what's possible for us, and what if there was something completely beyond that?
If you look at all the issues or the problems that are currently going on in the world, it's simply because people are fighting so hard to keep this reality the way it is.
Right.
There was tremendous progress made as far as marriage all across the board for all kind of people, and then the people that are like, no, this is outside of our reality. Right. They are fighting to keep it in.
Right. So, I can't allow that in my reality.
Yeah, and so what's interesting to me is the idea of, it's not because your reality says you can't marry somebody from the same sex that it has to be everybody's reality. So everybody can have their if you respect my point of view, I'll respect your point of view, right? So it's not, I don't think everybody should certainly change their point of view. Your point of view is your point of view. That works for you, that's great.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me to have the same point of view than you. That's it. And that's that. If we can just do that, so it's not about convincing the other people that we're right and they're wrong, but it's simply, okay, so we have two different points of view here. Let's see how we can all coexist and create together.
Yeah.
That's my own reality. That's how I like to see the world.
Yeah. I think of it that way too, that, if people didn't feel that they were actually so powerless to create their own lives, that they had to go out and disrupt or destroy other people's lives for their ideology or for personal gain and profit, that would look a lot like peace on earth.
Exactly. Wow.
I like to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, but you're right. It's so funny because peace does not mean that you have to stop the war. It means that you are embracing all of it. And those of us who like to talk about consciousness includes everything and rejects nothing, including the stupids. So even the stupids can be conscious.
The stupids, which I would like to say too, like in Access, we talk about stupidity more, not as just, like non-intelligence, but as a lack of consciousness, a lack of awareness.
Actually, I love stupids.
I have a lot of stupids myself. Yeah. Every day.
It is true that in Access Consciousness, the stupids are the people that choose to be unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And I will love them as well. I just know I have to be extra aware when I'm around somebody who is choosing to be unaware. So if I'm driving on the road in Los Angeles, I will increase my awareness because, a lot of people do the same commute every day. So they think they know the road very well. So they're paying a lot less attention than if we're in a new area actually looking for what's coming their way. So increasing our awareness around the people that play stupid it's what's going to create our own reality.
Yeah, so asking questions and just turning up our awareness, our presence to what's happening within ourselves and our body and to everything in our environment, which, you know, it does go back to that, like, you know, this sci-fi picture or the, you know, Kung Fu film or the Matrix where you're so at one with everything that you can dance with it and are completely at one and prepared for anything that comes your way. How would you say that relates to creating your own reality?
Okay, so you cannot create your own reality if you're not aware of the reality you're choosing. So
right.
to be aware of what you're choosing, you have to be aware of what is around you. So for instance, if there are people that are unkind, you say, I'm choosing kindness, that's awesome. You have to be aware of what kindness is going to look like with people that are unkind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With people that are unkind, kindness is not going to look like, oh, I love you, you're awesome. Even though many people would like that.
Right.
When people are unkind, kindness is going to look like, you know what? I really don't appreciate you speaking like this to me. That's kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so being aware of your reality is what's going to allow you to choose what reality you're going to create. But if you say everybody's nice because in my reality everybody's nice, that's not going to work. So that's one thing. The most, I'm so grateful to Dr. Den here and Gary Douglas are the co-founders of Access Consciousness. And I just spent 4 days with Dr. Den here in Santa Barbara a couple of weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I really got how creating my life includes everything. So let's say that, okay, so I got a parking ticket the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got upset at first. I'm like, damn it, I got a parking ticket. Okay. And I was like, "Arr."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why me? Why?
4 minutes, 4 minutes. Anyway, the most expensive 4 minutes of my life. Anyway, so I was kind of complaining and whining a little bit. Then I looked at it and I was like, okay, how can this become a gift to me? Okay, so if I look in my own reality, everything I spend money on contributes to me. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to pay this parking ticket, it's going to have to contribute to me. So I have to look at how is this going to contribute to me. So we live in Los Angeles. There are potholes in Los Angeles. So part of that money is used to fill potholes, which then prevents me from breaking my car. Okay,
that's deeply needed here. Thank you, Sophie, for getting that ticket.
My kids go to public school, so it's going to contribute to my kids' school.
Mm-hmm.
I have policemen. So a few weeks ago, my house was burglarized. The police was here within 15 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look at that ticket. I'm like, wow, I got all of that for $63.
I love that. I love that.
That's reality now. It's the police, the potholes, the public school only cost me $63.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that because that brings me to another one of these fabulous access consciousness questions. And if you're taking notes with a pen and paper, you probably want to write down what else is possible and what was another?
How does it get any better than this?
How does it get any better than this? And what's right about this that I'm not getting? That sounds like what happened for you with the ticket. And that's something that just, you know, because we're talking about how you have to be willing to be aware of what is around you, of what is in the space and the situation, of what's happening, to be able to create and change your reality. And if you're not willing to see that, or if you have hard and fast judgments, beliefs, conclusions in place, then they won't allow you to see that. And so in this instance, it wouldn't have allowed you the joy of getting police-filled potholes in public school for such a great economical price. But I know that for myself and for a lot of people, it can have such drastic repercussions on your life because of the places where you have a judgment or conclusion and you're not aware of it. So I feel like Access has really great tools to help with uncovering those things, or not even having to uncover them, but being able to break them up and change. So what are some tools we can use for that? Well, but we don't know that we don't know.
Oh, we know. But
when we're denying or pretending we don't know.
know that let's figure out how to know it cognitively as well. Because so I had this story that people who have money or like lots of money, more money than I do, are traditional, conventional, normal, boring. I realized this the other day because there was a very nice Mercedes in front of me. By the way, I have a Mercedes, but there was a very nice Mercedes in front of me. And I pictured the driver, and I saw this very conservative man with a suit. And I just went to that conclusion that people who have a lot of money are boring. They're non-original, they fit in, they're normal, right?
They're trapped inside the rat race or something.
And so it was very interesting because that point of view will prevent me from having a lot of money.
Right.
I'm not boring. I'm not normal.
And you have no desire to be.
Yeah, and I have no desire to be. And so if I keep this point of view, then it's not possible for me to have that kind of money.
Right.
So I was really looking at that. And so in Access, we have a magic wand, I would say, which is called the clearing statement. So I'm not sure if Claire has ever shared the clearing statement on this.
I haven't talked about the clearing statement yet, but we can also, there's a whole web page where people can hear a really great explanation of it, because I always say it's kind of an energetic shorthand. And it may sound like gobbledygook, but trust me, it's quite powerful. Or don't trust me and just try it yourself.
Yeah. You know, the first time I heard about Access, the woman was using the clearing statement and I could not understand a word that she was saying.
Yeah.
I felt so good after listening to her for an hour. I was like, I don't care.
I don't care what she's saying.
Go check it out, right?
Yeah.
So,
it was also my experience. It was initially a very kind of subterranean experience, and it didn't matter so much what the specifics were, but I think it's just, is it theclearingstatement.com?
It is the clearing statement.
Theclearingstatement.com. So this is what we're talking about.
And it's words that have been repeated so many times that the universe knows what to do with those words, and the universe knows what we're asking for. The same way that when we say, how does it get any better than this? It's kind of a conscious collective, if you want.
Right.
Everybody has been saying it for so long, so many times, and now the universe is like, and it changes things, right? So it used to be like, I think it used to be 4 pages now, and now it's just a paragraph. It's not even a paragraph. It's just 2 or 3 lines. We've been able to shorten it because now it's just, it goes really fast. Now faster than ever before. And it changes things, right? So I don't know about you, but I used to work really hard. I used to work 10, 12 hours every day in the jobs that I really liked. I would work so hard, but very little got accomplished. And today, if I simply use the clearing statement, it's like everything opens up. So it's not necessarily, it does not necessarily, although sometimes make things happen for me, but it clears the way for me to choose something different.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
I think that's really huge, and I've been noticing that in my life when I remember to go back to the tools of access and be aware, choose the clearing statement, and some of the other tools, I realized that things that I was asking for or looking for seemed to show up with less effort. They just kind of pop up, and that doesn't mean I get $1 million bill, but some resource, some person, things that you would consider synchronicities and just awarenesses within myself, seeing the next step, things like that.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of us. So it goes like this. It goes awareness. Okay, something needs to change. Okay, so this is not working for me. Like, oh, I got a parking ticket. Yeah. Okay, does not work for me. So that's the awareness choice. Hey, what else can I choose here that I don't like that? So I'm making a choice. Hey, I'm choosing gratitude, I'm choosing joy. Okay, so pock and pod, so use the clean statement, pock and pod everywhere that I'm not choosing joy and gratitude, then the space is made. Okay, now I can choose, something different. Oh, I can choose to be grateful for this and this and this and this, and boom, it shows up. And by the way, boom, it shows up, and more money shows up in my account as well. So it's not just that thing that I'm working on, but it's also everything that's attached to it. Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that has, because before I was aware of access, I love the work of Abraham Hicks, and I resonated with a lot of law of attraction. And that's something, when we talk about that in access as well, there's a lot of connection there when we talk about when we have resistance and we're putting our energies into keeping something out or keeping something the way it is. It's, when you build a wall, it keeps everything out. It doesn't just keep out special certain things. And I think that using the clearing statement helps to let down those barriers.
Yeah, it just makes space. And
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say that access has invited me to is with the body. So a lot of modalities out there include mental work, spiritual work, metaphysical work, but very little includes the body. So with access, the first thing we teach is called the bars. And Claire is also, you're a facilitator, right?
Yep.
So Claire is also a facilitator, so she can also teach the bars. So with the
bars, I'm a
bars,
practitioner. Sorry, I can do the bars. I don't teach bars classes, but you do.
So with the bars, we unlock those stuff also from the body. Because how many of us have been wanting to change our money situation or the relationships we attract or career things? And yeah, it improved a little bit, but it does not really change, because as long as the body locks in all the points of views we have, it's just not going to change tremendously. Now, if you let go of from your body of all the stuff that you've locked in, now not only so with the energy work, so with the acknowledging what is and choosing something different, watch out, baby, because now you can actually really create what is going to work for you. So I just want to say a little something, because there's an energy when we say create your own reality. We're not saying like deny what is, right? We're not saying that let go of paying the bills or let go of eating properly. We're not saying all of this. We're saying within this reality that your body gets to enjoy and live in, what are you choosing? That's really creating your own reality, is what are you choosing within that frame? And sometimes it's going to be more dramatic than other times. So I was married, and then one day we realized no matter what we did, we were not in love with each other anymore. So the choice was, okay, completely destroy that. Completely end that. However, we have kids together, so we're still good friends. But there is that, sometimes it's going to be those choices, and sometimes it's going to be, okay, I know that when my partner has a problem at work, he comes home and he doesn't want to talk, but every time I want to talk to him, he gets mad at me. Okay, give your partner some space, because he basically just needs space. And that's also creating your own reality of having a happy partner. Give him some space.
Right.
So it's really functioning with this reality. It's kind of being the boss of this reality, but you've got to be the boss of something. You can't just make this thing disappear and go away. You have to use this to your advantage. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, that's a very, very important point to make, which, it's similar to what you were already saying with the willingness to be aware. If someone is choosing unkindness, then what your version of kindness to them will be different. And I think that that a really, a functional and practical and expansive form of creating your own reality does contain that you really are aware, and that you're not just saying, well, if I scrunch my eyes up closed tight enough, I can just will it into being. For better or worse, but
Yeah, and so it's fascinating because we're talking about energy work, right? We're talking about energetically changing things. Yet at the same time, your body is the one that's living in this reality. So if you don't include your body in the energy work you're doing, it's going to be challenging. So I know that a lot of people do energy work long distance, and I think that's phenomenal. That's fantastic. Yet at one point, the body likes to be touched, okay? So if you don't allow your body to be touched, it's actually not going to be able to receive all the energies that are available to the body. So, I have a puppy, and when I'm not doing well, I just grab my puppy and I cuddle with him for a little bit. That's a really good way for my body to be like, to relax a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Or I go and lay in the sun. But you have to include the body. If you don't, and unfortunately, a lot of modalities consider the body a problem. So it's,
or just a symptom, a cluster of symptoms.
Yeah. So, I can't remember exactly. Somebody said something to me that was shocking the other day about the body. If I didn't have my body, everything would be fine, or something like that. I'm like, if you didn't have your body, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be having this conversation with me, So the body is phenomenal. And if we want to create our own reality, we have to use our bodies. We just have to. So, when I do energy work, I love moving my hands. I love, I do this thing now called Symphony of Possibility. And the other day I was doing a session and I was jumping up and down, not on the person on the floor, but I was.
Don't try this at home, folks.
Move the energy, because it was so much more powerful if I moved from the tip of my toes to my head. It was much more powerful than if I just stayed still with my arms. So to me, including the body is the only way we're going to create our own reality.
Yeah. What are some other ways that we can include our body on a day-to-day basis? I know that one for me has been just the realization that you could ask your body what it wants and get some feedback. That was huge.
So I actually have learned, I used to fall and be very clumsy and bump into things. I broke my wrist 3 times. I broke my ankle, my hip, you name it.
Wow,
I probably.
wow. Mm-hmm.
And so when I started Access, I noticed that I was actually not bumping into things and I was not falling as much. Or if I did, I was much more able to, get back on my feet much more easily, right? So I realized that trusting my body. So yes, communicating with it the way you just explained it, but also be like, whatever my body does is what my body wants. So one day I found myself typing an email to somebody that I said I was going to talk to them 2 weeks later, but for some reason my body was like, no, now. And the fact that I emailed that person now made me get a job that I would not have gotten if I had waited 2 more weeks.
Wow.
So my body completely like guides me, takes me where, so like I'll send phone number, I'll be in my car, right? And I'm like, okay, who do I need to go see to make money today? And then I'll just, with my car, we'll just go, right? And I'm not going to be looking for things or looking for people. I'm going to be, doing something like picking up my kids at school but my body I'll go pick up my kids at school and then I'll miss my turn and go to the next street. And as I go to the next street, I'll see a new place that just opened up where they could use my services.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. So did you feel like when you said that you used to, have more like clumsiness and injuries, did you feel like that was coming from some kind of like your body's trying to go this way and you're saying that doesn't make any sense, go this way?
Exactly. That's exactly what was happening. I had decided I needed to go this way. I needed to go do this. And my body was like, no, that's not what you want. Go there and do this, right? So because I was always fighting with my body all the time, mm-hmm. It was just like bump. I mean, when I was a kid, my legs were bruises, just bruises everywhere. Mm-hmm. So the day that I stopped fighting my body, the day that I just went with it, oh my gosh, everything became so much easier. My whole life changed. I became healthier. I ate less. I slept less. I'd got a lot more done. The things I was doing were actually creating results. Like everything changed. I was having my own reality.
Right, now living by the guidelines of what you have to do and what books say that your body needs and all those prescribed things. What do you think, were there any specific tools that helped you get there?
Yeah, so the bars that we just talked about,
mm-hmm.
That's a phenomenal thing. Asking my body and also knowing that my body was trained. So I trained my body really well. So for instance, one thing that I trained my body to do, I have no idea why, but I trained my body to be allergic to cats, right?
Yeah, I guess I did too.
Right. And one day I was running bars, or I was getting my bars run, and this little cat was sleeping on me. And I realized I'm not sneezing. So I started wondering, wait a second, body, can we not be allergic to cats? And I got to be yes. And I can be around cats now. My parents have a cat, and when I'm around it, it's fine. Wow. So I realized asking my body, hey, can we create this differently? Like, can we do this differently? Can we, it's been really cool. Really cool. Like eating, for instance, right? So yeah, I like to eat, but sometimes, I can tell that I'm eating because it's dinner time, right? Or it's breakfast time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I stopped doing that, and I really, really only eat when my body gives me the signal. Like, and usually it's not even hunger. It's like this image of something that my body wants to eat. So if I suddenly start seeing tomatoes, I'll go get tomatoes and eat tomatoes, Mm-hmm. So that's when I eat now. And that's what I eat or how I eat. I don't eat because it's time to eat. I don't eat because that's what I'm like, proteins or vegetables. That's not how I do it anymore. And I haven't gained weight. I actually feel great. I don't eat a lot of food, but I feel great. And I'm healthier than when I was eating the normal way. So really having that constant conversation with my body is being amazing and paying attention. So do you ever get the sensation that somebody's tickling you?
Not really, but I do sometimes. I get something where it feels like someone's kind of grabbing my side, like that.
Or for me, it's like, it's kind of like touching like this, or going by. That's the whispers of the universe that are telling us something through our body, but a lot of times we don't pay attention. So for me now, I'm like, okay, but what is this? What are you trying to tell me? So from the side, like, it could be that I need to pay attention to something that's right beside me or something like that, right? So I really pay attention to all these little sensations. When I was a kid, I had tons and tons and tons of them, and I wouldn't pay attention, and then I would get sick, or I had severe allergies my whole life, not paying attention. Now I pay so much attention, it's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're done with that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're done with that, right? So I'm going to show you, for instance, I just did another Zoominar earlier today for my members, and my throat was like scratching and hurting, and I was drinking a lot of water. So I said, fine, buddy, what do you want?
Nutella.
That's what my body wanted. So I went to get Nutella, and now my throat is okay.
Really? So this is something that, I feel like I've come a long way with communion and communication and appreciation of my body. But one thing that I've been noticing a lot is what would be called emotional eating, and just feeling like I want something to fill me up. I want something sweet. I want comfort. And
so what's the problem with that?
Because I'm afraid that I'll gain weight from doing that.
Okay, so that's an interesting conclusion.
But isn't that what happens, Sophie?
No, because if you say, for instance, if I eat Nutella, I'm going to gain weight, right? Or I'm going to work out or something like that, then you're forcing your body in the cause and effect that if you eat Nutella, this is going to happen. And your body's like, fine, then this is going to happen, right? But if you eat Nutella and you're like, this is yummy, thank you, body, then you just dissipate it. You just break it down. Your metabolism takes care of it. For me, it soothes my throat a lot. So it just helps where it needs to help. And I had one spoon. I didn't eat the whole pot either. I just asked every time,
Right.
That's called awareness, being aware of the first spoon and then the second spoon. And usually the taste will change when your body's done with it. You have to do it consciously and really be aware. Okay, does this still taste good? No? Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps me kind of be more aware of, that I have a lot of judgments about those things that I haven't been willing to let go, that, because I think, like, I love cookies so much, and I think I shouldn't be eating the cookies, and so I eat them like it's this secret thing, without that same kind of presence and gratitude and, like, enjoying every moment of it, and then knowing, like, okay, I don't need whatever 10 cookies. but it's like I say, like, I can only have 2, so that could be even keeping me in this state of, like, no, like the forbidden fruit. I want to eat the whole pack of cookies.
I understand. And cookies are yummy, but if you start judging the cookies, then the contribution the cookie can be to you cannot be there.
Right.
So this is the last thing that I really wanted to give people today. If you judge anything, whether it's you or somebody else, you're going to create problems. You're going to create the opposite of what you want to create.
How do we know? How do we know if we're judging?
Say that again.
How do we know if we're judging?
Oh, how do we know we're judging? It does not feel good. It's very heavy and it causes problems, right?
Tightness.
So if you feel good when you're like eating cookies, you're probably not judging eating cookies. But if you feel like, oh, I really shouldn't, you're probably judging eating cookies, right?
Right.
Or like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, since we are getting ready to wrap up in a few minutes, maybe we could use this moment to just do a few clearings. Maybe do a few clearings around judgment, because the clearing statement itself, I think, helped me have a better understanding of when I'm actually judging, because it says some judgments in it, good or bad, right and wrong. And we generally think of those things as something every child needs to learn, but there is a point where they don't really serve us in our lives, and certainly not for creating our realities and living harmoniously with others.
Right. So doing a blank clearing on judgments is not really going to do anything. However, if you want, we can do judgments on certain area of your life. So where would you like to clear judgments? In which area?
Let's clear some judgments around money.
Okay, awesome. So what's our number one judgment about money? That it's hard to make it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard to make it, and the number two would probably be people that have it are bad, or they did something bad, and that's why they have it.
Awesome. Okay, so everywhere that we have decided that it's really difficult, challenging, impossible to have a lot of money, will you please uncreate and destroy it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and paddle, nice for shots and beyond. So that sounds like another language, but it's English. And it's the clearing statement, which you can get the explanation on theclearingstatement.com. So let's do it again. So everywhere that we have all decided that making money, having money, creating money is difficult, challenging, impossible, will you please uncreate and destroy all of it times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, puck, pod, all nine sports, shorts, and beyond. And everywhere you have decided that money can't fall on your lap, will you please uncreate and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, puck, pod, all nine sports, shorts, and beyond. I don't know why that came up. Okay, now the second part. So all the judgments, decisions, computations, projections you have about what it means to have a lot of money, will you please decide? Why not create it all?
Yes.
And everywhere you have decided that you have to be, that if you have a lot of money, you will be a bad person, you will be a greedy person, will you create and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, or nice for shirts and yawns. Another one. Everywhere you've decided money is the root of all evil, will you please create and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, or nice for shirts and yawns. Jesus, mama.
Ooh.
That one is the one. Okay. So, everywhere you've decided that money is the root of all evil, will you please create and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, or nice for shirts and yawns. One more time. Everywhere you have decided that money is the root of all evil, will we please create and destroy it all? right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, bows, and beyonds. Okay, so if money is the root of all evil, why do you want it?
Because it helps me create my reality as I like to have it.
Maybe it's possible that it's not the root of all evil.
It might be possible. I really invite everyone to check out theclearingstatement.com if you like, so you can try these out for yourself and really see how it feels in your body. For me, that was what really, even though the clearing statement doesn't make much sense consciously when you hear it for several times, the way that it felt in my body and the fact that I would have this lightness, almost a giddiness, I would want to laugh and just feel really good inside. That was the heads up to me that something was happening, that it was shifting something, and that it was the direction that I wanted to follow and explore further.
Exactly. And I did a lot of work before I came to Access. I mean, to tell you the truth, at some point I did EFT. EFT is not better. I mean, tapping yourself on, everywhere, it's still weird, right? So there are other weird shit out there. This one works a lot, very well, fast. So I just cannot recommend it enough. And it's okay if you don't want it, at least keep the questions of what else is possible, how does it get any better than this, and what's right about this that I'm not seeing. Those, even if you don't use a clearing statement, those will work.
Yep, those will open up possibilities for you. Well, Sophie, I know you were talking about the fact that you do sessions for people locally. You live in the LA area, you're in Pasadena, and can people work with you over the phone, or any people who are outside LA?
Absolutely. I do a lot of sessions over the phone. And also I have a membership site where you get these tools every single day.
Ooh. So where can we find you? Where can we find Sophie and her magic tools?
The membership site where you can get those tools every day, and also the clearing loops. So the clearings we just did with Claire, you also get loops that you can play over and over and over.
I love those. Love them.
Yeah. That's beingweoui.com, beingweoui.com. And then my website, which I just revamped, and I'm pretty proud of it.
It's beautiful.
It's SophieMihalko.com, SophieMihalko.com.
Great. And I'll put these, when I post the video, I'll put the links in the comments as well so people can just click through.
What about you? What are you up to?
What am I up to? Well, actually tomorrow I have a local class here in LA. It's going to be in Echo Park, and it's going to be a really fun class called Forever Young. We're going to be talking about natural beauty and rejuvenation. We're going to be talking a lot about the really pure therapeutic grade essential oils that I use from doTERRA. Everyone who comes to the class is going to make their own rejuvenating facial oil that's based on Ayurvedic principles to take home with them. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a really nice, intimate night. We still have a couple seats left. It's only $25 for the class and to take home your oil with you, which is going to be a nice roller ball that'll last you for a while. And you can find that on my Clearing with Claire page, facebook.com/clearingwithclaire. And yeah, just creating a lot of things, Sophie, also with my artwork. I'm in a band now, doing a lot of stuff. It's all about expansion. Asking. And we need to trade bars soon. Also, people, I just really want to recommend to you, if you're in LA, if you seek out Sophie, if you seek out myself, get your bars run. It's amazing. You can go on the accessconsciousness.com to find a practitioner near you. you know, what they say in Access is, at worst, you'll feel like you had a great massage. At best, your whole life might change. And that is true. It's such a powerful technique for really releasing the things that, you know, just are the muck, the old gunk, the stuff that you don't need or want in your being and in your world anymore, and just opening up to receiving for you and for your body, and the ability to be more aware and to create your reality.
Nice. That's awesome, Claire. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to see, David is here live with us. I didn't know if you had any question for us, David, and just go ahead and unmute yourself before we sign off.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I've been a bars practitioner for several years, so this is
Awesome.
not news to me. Okay.
And where are you
Love it.
located so our viewers can...
Southwestern Ohio.
Great.
Okay, Cincinnati, greater Cincinnati area, but I'm about 50 miles north of there. So
Awesome.
the running joke of our household is we live between the corn and the bean fields. And I do. It's very rural.
Literally.
I love it. Yeah, so
Great.
not a big population center, but I managed to stay busy. So pretty happy with the way things are going.
Awesome. Glad you're running bars out there.
Nice.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next week, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for the webinar. And I believe next week is going to be my Essential Oils 101 class. So stay tuned on the Facebook page, and we'll see you then.
Perfect.
That'll be interesting. In addition to the other things I do, I am a certified aromatherapist with the association here in Ohio. So
Awesome.
I teach some of those classes too, and it's a lot of fun. We do our own, I manufacture my own oils in a small way, and I have some manufactured by someone who will do it for me because they have equipment that I don't have, you know, the metering equipment and all that. I got the test tube and the beakers and the fun stuff. But
Oh, cool.
on a larger scale, you know, it's good to have a manufacturer that you can trust with your formulas. So
yeah, absolutely. I just love what doTERRA, you know, their methods of securing the purity, and also what they're doing globally with their farmers and their Healing Hands Foundation. So I'll
it's
be
great,
sure to
ain't
talk
it?
about that in the class too.
Okay, well, we'll see you again. I got to run.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Sophie. Thanks again. Bye.